Have you ever been on a date and found yourself stuck in awkward silence, not knowing what to say next? Maybe you've been there, asking yourself, what do I do now? Or, how do I keep this conversation flowing? If you've ever been in this situation, you're not alone. Every single person has been there at some point. But what if I told you that you could always have something interesting to say in dating, making sure you never run out of topics or end up staring at your phone awkwardly? Today, we're going to break down exactly how to avoid those silent, uncomfortable moments, using proven strategies from some of the best conversationalists out there, like Joe Rogan. Yes, that's right, Rogan's ability to keep a conversation engaging with anyone, from experts to celebrities, holds valuable lessons that you can apply in your own dating life. But before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on life-changing tips like these. Before we get to the specific strategies, let's talk about why small talk matters so much when it comes to dating. In dating, especially early on, the conversation sets the tone. It can make or break a connection. When you meet someone new, it's natural to feel a little nervous about how things will go. Will they be interesting? Will you have enough in common? The key is making sure your conversation flows smoothly, making the other person feel heard and engaged without forcing the dialogue. But let's face it, small talk often feels forced. You know the type. Those one-word answers, the awkward pauses, and the overwhelming feeling that you've run out of things to say. What if there was a way to take the pressure off and keep the conversation exciting? The Joe Rogan approach. Complimenting with purpose. One of the first secrets Joe Rogan uses to keep conversations engaging is giving compliments early. Now, compliments can be tricky. They need to feel genuine and not forced. But when done right, they set a positive tone that helps relax both you and your date. You don't need to give a compliment about their looks, though that can be nice if it's genuine. Instead, think about what's interesting about them. Maybe they have an exciting job or an incredible sense of humor. Perhaps they have a vibe that makes people feel comfortable. You can always start with something like, "I love your energy, it's contagious," or, "I'm really curious to hear more about what you do. It sounds fascinating." Rogan himself uses this technique to set a positive vibe on his podcast by complimenting his guests. But be careful, avoid these common mistakes with compliments. Avoid sexual compliments. Keep it respectful and focused on personality, work, or energy. Avoid fake compliments. Don't say something you don't truly believe. People can sense insincerity. Don't overdo it. Compliments should be brief and natural. Don't dwell on them too long. Transition into something else to keep the conversation moving. The art of transitioning topics. One of the biggest mistakes people make in conversations, especially in dating, is sticking too closely to one topic. You start with something simple, like talking about what you're both doing this weekend, and before you know it, the conversation stalls. You've both said all you need to say about the weekend plans, and suddenly, there's nothing left to talk about. So, what do? Transition. Joe Rogan is a master at this. He doesn't just follow one thread endlessly. Instead, he uses transitions to keep things interesting. For example, let's say you're talking about your favorite movies, and you find yourself running out of things to say. Instead of letting the conversation fizzle, you can simply say, "That reminds me of a time I watched this movie," and segue into a completely new topic like a fun, related memory or something else you're passionate about. This technique keeps the conversation dynamic and helps avoid those awkward silences. It shows that you're listening, but also thinking and connecting on multiple levels. Ask the right questions. Get to what matters. One of the most powerful things you can do to keep a conversation interesting in dating is ask questions that encourage the other person to open up about what truly matters to them. Joe Rogan is great at this. Instead of just asking the typical, "What do you do?" he follows up with something like, "Why did you choose that career?" or, "What do you love most about it?" This is an essential trick for dating. Don't just ask surface-level questions. Ask questions that get the other person talking about their values, their passions, and their dreams. People love talking about what excites them, and when they do, you'll see their eyes light up. For example, instead of asking, "Where did you grow up?" try something like, "What was your favorite thing about growing up there?" Or, "Why did you decide to move here?" By asking why questions, you're inviting them to share deeper insights into their life and personality. If the conversation stalls and they don't seem interested, don't be afraid to ask more creative or out-of-the-box questions. Rogan often asks questions like, "If you had a magic wand and could change anything, what would it be?" Or, "What's the craziest thing you've ever done?" These types of questions keep the conversation light, fun, and free from awkward lulls. Connecting with mutual interests. Another trick Rogan uses is finding mutual interests that you can both bond over. In dating, this is essential for building a connection. Whether it's a love for sports, music, or food, shared interests create a natural flow in conversation and help keep things interesting. For instance, if you both love hiking, you can dive into that topic and start exchanging favorite hiking spots, recent trips, or plans for future adventures. This can take the conversation to an exciting place where you both share experiences and ideas. Rogan also does something interesting when a guest doesn't know something he's passionate about, like DMT. He keeps the conversation going by introducing them to the topic, saying things like, "I've had some interesting experiences with it." This creates a shared space where they can connect if they are interested, and if they aren't, the conversation continues in a different direction. Humor and laughter. The secret ingredient. Humor is one of the most powerful tools in any conversation, especially in dating. Joe Rogan is a great example of how laughter can create a positive and fun atmosphere. When you laugh easily, you make the other person feel good for being funny, even if they didn't intend to be. This simple habit can make a huge difference in how you connect with your date. When you find humor in the conversation, whether it's a funny story, a quirky observation, or an unexpected comment, it lightens the mood and fosters rapport. People enjoy being around those who make them laugh, and it signals that you're enjoying the time together. Mirroring. Make the other person feel heard. Mirroring is a powerful technique used by Rogan to connect with his guests. This involves repeating the last few words that someone said. It's a subtle yet effective way to show that you're actively listening, making the other person feel valued. In dating, this can work wonders. For example, if your date says, "I've always wanted to go skydiving," you could mirror their words by saying, "Skydiving sounds amazing. What made you want to try it?" This keeps the conversation flowing and shows genuine interest without coming across as overly eager or pushy. Staying true to yourself. Finally, one of the most important lessons from Joe Rogan's conversational style is to always stay true to yourself. While it's great to learn tricks and techniques, it's crucial to maintain your authenticity. You don't need to change who you are to make a conversation interesting. Be confident in your own personality, style, and values. Confidence is magnetic, and when you're comfortable in your own skin, you'll naturally have something interesting to say. In the world of dating, the ability to always have something interesting to say can make all the difference. By using techniques like giving thoughtful compliments, asking engaging questions, finding mutual interests, and laughing with ease, you can elevate your conversations and create meaningful connections. The goal is not to impress but to create an atmosphere where both you and your date feel heard, valued, and excited to keep talking. So next time you find yourself on a date, remember these techniques, and you'll never run out of interesting things to say. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more tips to improve your dating life. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.